The engines were different then. Not the cheerful faces we know, but...
Deep within the archives of Sodor lie stories best left forgotten. But some secrets refuse to stay buried.
Every great railway has its official timetables, its published maps, its celebrated engines, its stories, told and retold. But behind every great railway, there lies a hidden network, a shadow line of sidings that lead nowhere, of tunnels that were never dug, of stories that were written but never told. On the island of Sodor, the world's most famous little railway, this shadow line is more than just myth. It is an archive, a locked room where the ghosts of imagination are kept. Tonight, we are going to unlock that door. We are going to meet the engines that never were, and hear the tales that never left the page. This is a journey into the heart of what almost happened. Welcome to the lost episodes of Thomas and Friends. The key turns with a soft metallic sigh. The room we enter is not one of bustling control panels or shiny models. It is a place of silence and dust. Light filters through a single high window, catching a million lazy motes dancing in the still air. This is the Sodor Archive, and standing before a shelf that reaches into darkness is the man who knows every secret, every success, and every failure. The Fat Controller. His expression is not one of pride, but of quiet contemplation. His hand reaches out, not for a trophy, but for a large leather-bound volume. The spine is unmarked, but as he pulls it free, the cover comes into view. 2 words are stamped into the aged leather: Rejected Scripts. He lays the heavy book upon a worn oak table. The sound is a dull thud, a punctuation mark in the silent room. With a careful, almost reverent hand, he opens the cover. The pages are not pristine paper. They are yellowed at the edges, some bearing the faint brown rings of a long-forgotten teacup. This is not a printed book. This is a tomb for ideas. We see typewriter text, the letters pressed hard into the fiber of the page, and between the paragraphs, in the margins and on separate sheets tucked carefully inside, are sketches. Not the polished, final models we know, but first thoughts, energetic, rough, sometimes wildly different. A Thomas with 3 domes, a Percy with a scowling face, and stranger things, shapes that barely look like engines at all. These are the first breaths of characters the world was never meant to meet. From these faded sketches, our vision pulls back. The pages seem to blur and melt, transforming into fleeting, ghostly images. A flash of magical light in a dark forest, a lonely diesel watching the stars, a horrific crash on the main line, a sleek silver streak of an engine, a monstrous robot with eyes of fire. They appear and vanish like fragments of a dream you can't quite grasp. And over this haunting montage, bold text materializes, solidifying from the chaos. Lost episodes. Our journey into this phantom Sodor begins not with coal smoke and steam, but with the shimmer of moonlight on dew. The scene transitions to a part of the island we rarely see, the whispering woods on the forgotten branch line to Harwick. It is twilight. The world is painted in deep blues and purples, and the air is alive with the soft, rhythmic chirping of crickets and the gentle dance of fireflies. Rolling slowly, cautiously, on the overgrown tracks are 2 familiar faces: Thomas, the blue tank engine, and his best friend, Percy, the small green tank engine. They are not here on an order. They are exploring. There is a sense of childlike wonder in their eyes. Percy looks up, his face glowing in the soft light. "Thomas," he whispers, his voice full of awe. "Look!" Thomas follows his gaze. There, on a rusted, ivy-covered signal post, is an old-fashioned signal lamp. But it is not dark. Inside its glass cage, a soft golden light pulses gently, rhythmically, like a heartbeat. It is a warm, living light that has no business in a disused signal. It is inviting and deeply, strangely magical. The camera moves closer, as if drawn by the light itself. We see inside the glass, and there, our world shifts. Curled within the lamp is a creature no bigger than a human hand. She is delicate, her form seeming woven from light and morning mist. She has the gentle face of a storybook maiden, but from her back extend two magnificent, translucent wings, like those of a dragonfly, shimmering with every color of the rainbow. This is the fairy. But her beauty is touched by profound sadness. Her eyes are large and luminous, filled with a longing so deep it aches. She is trapped. She places a tiny hand against the cold glass, reaching out towards the two steam engines. A single, sparkling tear traces a path down her cheek. She does not speak, but her plea is deafening. "Help me." Back outside, Thomas and Percy exchange a look. This is beyond pulling coaches or fetching trucks. This is a mystery, a responsibility. Thomas's face sets into an expression of determined courage. Percy, though nervous, gives a small, brave nod. They have made a silent pact. They will solve this. They will free her. They whisper plans in the gathering dark, their voices low and serious. Perhaps the signal needs a special kind of oil. Perhaps there's a hidden catch. They resolve to search the forest for clues at first light, their headlamps cutting determined paths through the mist that now coils around their wheels. This is the beginning of their greatest, most unusual adventure. But this adventure was never to be. The scene dissolves into a flashback. We are now in the bright, orderly office of the Fat Controller. Sunlight streams through the window, illuminating a model railway on a side table. Sitting across from him is a young, eager writer clutching a storyboard. The Fat Controller listens patiently, his hands steepled. The writer talks excitedly about magic, about friendship between species, about the wonder of discovering a hidden world within Sodor. He slides the storyboard across the desk. On it is a beautifully rendered sketch of Thomas and Percy looking up at the fairy in the lamp. The Fat Controller studies it for a long moment. His face is kind, but his eyes are firm. He slowly, regretfully shakes his head. He pushes the storyboard back. Stamped across the top in bold, uncompromising red ink is the word rejected. His voice when he speaks is final. It's a charming idea, truly, but it is not a railway story. Sodor runs on steam and schedules, not sparkles. Our world has rules. This breaks them. The writer's shoulders slump. The magic was extinguished, not by a villain, but by a simple, immovable fact. It didn't fit. The episode, titled The Fairy of the Road, was filed away, and the woods were left to whisper alone. From the ethereal silence of the forest, we are plunged into the grim, grimy reality of the diesel works. This is where the sun doesn't seem to shine. The air is thick with the smell of oil and metal. Puddles of rainbow-slicked water dot the concrete. In a gloomy siding, away from the main lines, sits Diesel, not the sneering, scheming Diesel we often see, but a different one. His face is turned away from the yard. His expression is one of profound loneliness. He isn't scowling, he just looks empty. A single drop of black oil drips from his coupling rod with a slow, rhythmic plink, plink, plink. It looks like a tear. This is a Diesel who is tired of being the villain, a Diesel who is simply alone. The clanking of a new arrival echoes through the yard. Diesel doesn't even bother to look, until a soft, hesitant voice speaks. Hello? Diesel turns. There, peeking out from behind a battered old freight car, is a new engine. He is a tank engine, but his design is softer, rounder. He's painted in a gentle, creamy off-white with beautiful maroon lining. He looks nervous, his eyes wide. This is Daniel. Daniel, the kind tank engine. He's been assigned to the diesel works for orientation, and he's utterly lost. The resident diesel trucks, seeing an easy target, begin to roll towards him, their hooks clattering, making rude, buzzing sounds. Daniel shrinks back. Something sparks in Diesel, a protective instinct he didn't know he possessed. With a sudden sharp hiss, chuff, he rolls forward, placing himself between Daniel and the trucks. He puffs a thick, aggressive cloud of black smoke. "Leave him alone," Diesel growls, his voice low, but surprisingly steady. The trucks, surprised by this defiance from the usually aloof Diesel, grumble and roll away. Daniel looks at Diesel, not with fear, but with stunned gratitude. A connection, fragile as glass, is formed in that grimy yard. That connection deepens under the cover of night. The diesel works are quiet. A low fog hugs the ground. Two sets of headlamps cut through the gloom, moving slowly in tandem. Diesel and Daniel are on a secret, unofficial run. There is no freight, no orders, just motion. They talk. Or rather, Daniel talks softly about the stars above, about the quiet beauty of the night, and Diesel listens. For the first time, someone is talking to him, not at him or about him. For the first time, he is not Diesel the nuisance, but just Diesel.